All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome into this week's edition of Tiger Talk as our bye week edition.
Bye week.
As the Tigers took over Franklin Parish last Friday night and beat the Patriots 58-14. I'm Stewart Shelby alongside Neville head football coach Jeff Tannehill, as we are every Wednesday night here at Melvin's Restaurant. And Jeff, congratulations. That's the 55th consecutive district win and the 15th consecutive year the Tigers have won this district.
Yeah, I'm proud of our guys. You know, we played in this Alexandria district, and just, we've gone out and done what we're supposed to do each and every week during this district play. And, I just proud of the fact that we are executing and doing things the right way. And hopefully we'll continue to do that through the playoffs. But I think we've earned a top 4 seed by winning district, and, we'll get, I don't know, however they do the points. We'll have that here in a little while. But, it's I'm just proud of the way they played all year. And, this group has really gotten focused on, on Friday nights, and they play extremely hard. And then, our coaches have done a tremendous job just, trying to make sure everybody does the right things and get to where we need to be when we get ready for the playoffs in 2 weeks.
Well, the playoffs are coming up in 2 weeks, and later on here in Tiger Talk, we're going to talk about those playoffs, some projections, if you will. And
it's the Will Anders show tonight.
That's right. He's been preparing all week for this deal. And before we get too deep into last Friday night's game, I'd like to remind everybody that the first segment here on Tiger Talk is brought to you by our good friends at Mickel Sports, right down there on Forsyth Avenue, as they have been for many, many years.
Been there twice this week already.
Yeah, so go by and see them with all your team sports or any equipment you need, all kind of stuff. Go by, see Eric and Holly and Bougie and the rest of the gang. So we thank them for their sponsorship on Tiger Talk. All right, back to it, Coach. I mean, earlier on in the year, going into Franklin Parish, there's a lot of expectations. They had put together probably one of the best rosters they had. They got talent all over it. Have a new quarterback, a sophomore, a young quarterback, but a very impressive looking young man.
Yes,
tall,
sir.
strong arm. But as it gets to the end of the season, they didn't have their weapon in White.
Right.
He was out. They were without a couple of defensive players. And I believe Coach Burnett opted to kind of hold them out and say that you're in different playoff brackets. I mean, here's what it's come down to. And I'm not discounting a victory or anything else. But we're just stating the facts that I think even with a full stead of players, I think the outcome would have been about the same, at least for the wins and losses standpoint. But maybe before we get into these highlights, talk about that. It's weird, with the district. In our district, we have 4 different playoff brackets.
4
represented.
Yep.
You got the Tigers in a Division I non-select. Tioga's in Division I select. Franklin Parish, Division II, non-select.
And Peabody is Division II select.
Exactly. So, and Grant would be Division II, non-select.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's kind of confusing, and, they've done that, last year it started, and we've just kind of had to live with it and play wherever they put us. And, that's what we're going to do. We're going to play anybody, anywhere. But, but it is – to have to our district to compete against each other and play for a district championship, and then we all branch out into other.
Well, I guess the
things
point
is just hard to understand for the common person.
And the point I was trying to make, it kind of benefits Coach Burnett going into a game where, y'all are the Tigers are definitely heavily favored, but we're not going to have any chance of playing anybody in the playoff. Either anybody in our district.
Anybody in our district, that's right.
But him as well. Maybe Grant, I believe, would be the only one in their side. But he could do some damage in the playoff. And he had to make that decision as a coach to.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
To kind of rest some of his banged up players. And I guess my point being is that I really just don't like that decision has to even be made.
Well, late in the year, of course we set a couple guys out the other night for the same reasons. But, late in the year, you got to kind of look down the road and see where you're going to really be. And, every kid wants to play every Friday night, obviously. Mm-hmm. But when you have a kid like White, for instance, who's a Tulane commit, very talented young man, just great speed and great hands. Anytime you have a guy like that who is a difference maker. Yeah. And he's hurt. And you kind of know that we're heavily favored anyway, and they kind of understood that. But, they had to sit him, mm-hmm. to protect him for the playoffs, to get him well. And, he's injured as bad as he was. I mean, if he wasn't that injured, he would have probably played. But he's significantly injured, and but if they can get him back in 2 weeks for the playoffs, it'll be a plus for them. And they're a team that could make a run in that Division II for sure.
They definitely can.
They've got some athletes.
If they put it together, it's going to be it'd be fun to watch.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
All right, well, back to the game. The Tigers win at 58-14. This one was never in doubt. Tigers win the opening coin toss. They defer to the second half. They kick it to Franklin Parish, force a 3 and out, and on the initial punt, it was a bad day for the Franklin Parish special teams, and as evidenced by this first punt, it was a little high on the snap.
Got a good return set up, and then they snap it over, and he downs it on the 1. So we get a chance to score right there, here in just a second. I'm sure he's going to pull it up.
Yeah, right.
We've played 4 plays, and we're up 7-0.
Exactly. You get Ja'Shawn White here on the little give right there.
Good block right there by Tyler Brown and Thomas Campbell, and he walked in the end zone.
It's 7-0 Tigers. You kick it back off, 3 and out, and then I think this one is they tried a fake punt.
I think there was a fake punt here. 42 was supposed to catch it there, and it went right through his hands, and we get it on the 20-yard line right there, up 7-0, and very little time off the clock.
And I believe this one was 2 plays.
2 plays, was it 2?
This one right here. And the second play being, we just caught the tail end of this one, but that was Ja'Shawn White. See that nice cut there to get himself into the end zone from about 4 yards out.
Yeah. Well, I think we ran a speed option there, and Amon had a good run to set that touchdown up, and then Ja'Shawn scored on a good play. So
it's 14-0, and we're barely into this thing. The first quarter, and this was a game, and we were commenting about it on the air, that this was the longest game from start to finish. I mean, just time-wise, it's just a fact that we played all season. Now, obviously, there was a lot of points scored. The Tigers had 58.
Well, they threw it
all together, 72 points. But they kept throwing it. They kept going.
Well, and that's their offense. They throw it around, and they were going to try to get better as the night went, and against a good defense like ours is that's good practice for the playoffs. And they left their guys in for a while, and the quarterback threw it all over the yard and had a lot of attempts. I know that, and every time an incomplete pass happens, the clock stops.
The clock stops. That's right.
And it stopped a lot.
It stopped a lot. So we get through there. Franklin Parish gets the football back. They try to get something going. Really, the only drives they had really in the first half were spurred on by some penalties there on third down. But here's a third down play that was no penalty.
Yeah.
And I believe that's Vincent Butcher chasing down the quarterback there.
Yep. It was a good effort right there. Yeah. Well, I mean, the quarterback, when he gets loose, man, he's got great feet. And he's tall and really athletic. Butcher came out of his drop and went and made that play right there. It was a great play to make them. I believe they forced a punt right there.
We did. They forced a punt, and they get this one off. Coach, they get this one off. It was fair caught. And the next play, this is where you scored 3 times in 4 plays. Here's a little hitch to Vaughn.
Well, look at him run, man. He just ran right by every one of them. He's got great speed. He ran a state track meet, man. He turned a hitch into a 70-yard touchdown, man. That's just good pass by Amon, great pass protection there, and then he just turns the afterburners on and takes it to the house.
Exactly. It looked like he was in traffic, and then all of a sudden he was free of traffic.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a 5 or 6 yard gain, and that's about about it, and he got loose.
There's a couple of those type plays here in this ball game. So you kick it off to Franklin Parish. You force them to punt again, and then the old special teams bug gets him, and there's another high snap.
Another high snap.
This time Cordell was running for his life, and then he finally meets a few guys. And
so we get it on the, what, 6?
I think on the 6.
Six-yard line.
Then the next one, I believe, was a Bradley Hanlon 6-yard.
Yeah, it's a great throw right here, back shoulder to Bradley on a fade route. And
Sampanera did a nice job with the pass.
Completion there, and Bradley gets a touchdown there, and where it's 28-0 at this point, I believe.
As I call him, that's Brody Watley.
I
did it again. I do it every week.
Yeah.
I'll continue to do it, and I apologize. See, you own up to these things. I don't know what it is. I need to get a hypnotist somewhere to
fix that,
to reverse that. But anyway, that's Hanlon with a nice catch, using his size to get up there on a nice throw to get a touchdown for Bradley. Okay, so that makes it 27-0. I think you tried a 2-point conversion and didn't quite
snapped it over.
I don't think Thomas actually got the football on that one.
Well, I think maybe bobbled a little bit, but anyway, they stopped it. But it's always good to have it on film. So they got to keep it. Keeps the defense honest, and they got to get lined up right.
Jay Sean had a big night. I believe he was when he had Aaron's Ace this week.
He and Robert Graves.
Robert Graves. That's right. So, but when it comes down here, here's a Jay Sean's big run here.
Yeah, good speed option, good pitch right there, and he gets loose down the sideline. I didn't know if he was going to be able to take it all the way. Aid had an angle on him there, and he makes a good move and turns it into a long touchdown right there. I mean,
63 yards right there.
And those are, when he gets in the open field, man, he's tough to handle. He's got great feet, good vision.
He definitely does. He's been a great addition to that backfield this year, and definitely going to need him in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, well, Nichols being banged up a little bit last week, it helps to have some depth there at running back.
And the Tigers definitely do have a little depth there in the offensive backfield. Okay, Malik Grayson, another talented sophomore. A couple of sophomores.
Plays extremely hard. He's getting held there. He gets away from that and still gets the sack. Man, he really comes off the football. Man, he's a great pass rusher. He's going to be a really good one before he gets out of here.
He definitely has a nose for that football. And speaking of noses. This young man has a nose for the end zone. This is Tardashy Lemons. He scores again. He might have more touchdowns than anybody on your team at this point.
He gets loose right here. He's quick as a cat and makes a good cut. And he doesn't really cut. He kind of turns a little bit, but he finds the end zone, man.
He weaves his way through defenses.
And does a good job of blocking right there by Isaac Jingana and Lockhart
and Isaac blocking downfield, but it doesn't take much a big block to spring Tardashy.
No, he just needs a little room.
His legs are so small. It's like even though he might be turning and not cutting, it just doesn't. I don't know how it works because I've never been that fast.
He's quick. No, I'm not either.
And so my legs were like lumbering, I guess you could call it, when I was trying to cut. My head, it would always work very well. But in reality,
my mind works real fast.
Exactly. I was like, I can't believe I didn't shake that. Okay, Jordan Fobbs-White, another talented sophomore. Matthew Fobbs-White's little brother, with a big sack or a tackle for loss here.
He and Malik have really come on this year and gave us some depth at that defensive line. And he does a good job of clogging the middle up, and just it's fun to watch those guys grow and get after it, man.
You got to have the ability to get a lot of young men in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Last Friday night and play for significant minutes.
Oh, yeah. And that 42-point thing never really happened till the very end. Yeah, till the very end.
But okay, and speaking of that, let's one more for the defense. This is Malik Grayson and Fobbs-White again combining for a sack here.
Yeah, well, Malik kept the outside leverage on him and then closed it down, and Fobbs finished him up right there.
Here's a fourth down play. I believe it was on that. I believe at the time it was maybe 41-6, 41-6, 41-14. I forget when they scored it. It was broadcasting it. We were up there, and we had a lot of time to think about things and do all that from there. And kudos to Franklin Parish. They got a new press box going in there.
Yeah,
there's plenty of room. You had room for the coaches.
Yeah.
You had room for the media, and everybody was very accommodating out there. We really appreciate them for accommodating us. But it was the old press
track
box
and everything, wasn't it?
New track. It was the facilities over there keep improving, and but it was the old press box where you used to stand up on top of it. The last time I stood on top of that press box, it was.
Was it on the home side? Is that where it was?
It used to be on the home side.
So they moved it across. Okay.
And
they did a fine job of doing that.
Doing radio, and a clipper, as Kay Carter would say, came in. A clipper blew in, and it was about the temperature dropped down to like 33 with a 25-mile-an-hour north wind.
It was chilly.
It was chilly the last time I was up there.
Yeah.
Glad it wasn't. It was a little warm, a little sticky. Humid Friday night.
Man, it was sticky.
It was sticky. Okay, so Sutton Lewis makes a stop here on fourth down on that drive.
This is the short pass out there he breaks? Yeah.
Yeah, they had a jailbreak little screen, and then Sutton really has come on here in the last few games and contributed. It was a little Dickel package, but for you in that defensive backfield.
He has done a great job. He snaps on punts and extra points, and then he plays that safety position in the nickel package, and then he plays that some in the other down there in the other spot by where Robert and Tytron play, and he's kind of that guy that rows between each of those guys and does a really good job, and really, really come on this year as a senior.
Sampanero gets in on the action as he scrambles for a 20-yard touchdown run, I believe.
And we called a pass here, had a little pressure up the middle, makes a good run there, and gets on in the end zone. And
he instead of running into the end zone,
he runs into somebody.
I mean, that's John Mickel, if you know him.
When he goes to running, he looks for contact sometimes.
I know. It's funny watching the quarterback do that, but he gets into the end zone nevertheless. That made it, 47, 48, whatever, I think 14
44,
at the time.
I believe.
And
that's what Will's putting out over there, 44 to.
That's right, 44. Then Yerger kicked the field goal for you.
Okay.
We don't have that one on the replay, but it's good to see that young kicker getting in there.
Oh, yeah, man. He's going to be real good the next couple of years.
And, all right, so now it's a big hit here. It seems like Julian Burns comes up with a big hit every week.
He does. He's right there around the ball all the time. He leads with his arms there so he doesn't get a penalty, which is good. And
he learned his lesson from last week.
He did.
Didn't wrap him up.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a nice – you had a lot of subs in there on the defensive side. There's a nice
of kids
team sack here. I believe Reese Reichart might have been the first man to the quarterback on this blitz.
Yep. Looks like Malik again and Reese, and I can't say who the other one is, but it's just a good, strong rush. I mean, if you're the quarterback and you look up and everybody's standing up,
coming.
We're coming. It's tough to play against.
I see 49. That was Betts in there on the backside as well.
Yeah, Betts done a great job this year.
All right, final highlight's going to be Tardashi Lemons. I mean, TJ.
The last one.
31-yard run here, and this shows his speed a little bit as he outruns everybody.
Yeah. It's a big old hole there, and then he gets to the end zone here.
This is a smart play.
Well, he was letting the time run a little bit, and I thought he was going to step out of bounds and stop the clock, and I was going to go on in there and score.
Go ahead and get it, and he gets it. That makes it 58-14.
Yeah.
Clock starts running right after that. Didn't even have to do the next kickoff.
Right.
So that's how it ends. And just kind of, I guess, final thoughts on this season. I mean, we've watched you since week one, and the Tigers have grown up a lot. You had a lot of question marks coming into this season. You had some tough ball games on the front end, but it seems to be, just like any football season. You try to improve every week. We can get all the coaching cliches out of there, but I mean that's what it is.
You're right. I mean, the first 5 weeks of the season, those 3 of those games were really good football teams, and we won 2 of those, came real close in the other one, and we're looking forward to going through district. And during district time it's a correction. It's a fix the things that need to be fixed. Just got to get better, and I really think that the last 4 weeks, man, we have improved tremendously, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The defense has played great all year, but we've gotten a little bit better each week. Execution has been a lot better. The other night, we didn't run a lot of plays on offense, but we executed just about every one of them to the extent of where they need to be done, and just that is what's in this bye week is we've got to get a little better than we were last week, and playing against our defense every day, we can do that, and because we're not going to face many defenses like ours.
It's been competitive, I know, over these last couple of days coming in, and it will be competitive over the next couple of weeks. As you're projected to have a bye in the opening round of the Division I
again
non-select playoffs, and we'll go over that. We'll go over some of those projections here coming up later in the show. Will Anders is excited to do it, as long as we might have the Rangers in the corner, in the picture in picture, watching all that. But well, Coach, congratulations once again on a big district, a district win, but a district championship. Once again, step one, and I'm sure in the goals of the season here in 2023. All right, folks, stay tuned as we coming up on a break here. We've got new Neville head basketball coach Derek Lopez going to join us. We're going to introduce you to him here on Tiger Talk. He's got a special event coming up this Friday at the Hirsch. So we'll tell you all about it right after these messages. You're watching Tiger Talk right here on the network and Sunday 98.3.
If you've been injured in an accident, you could be compensated in several different areas. You may have personal physical injuries. You may have financial injuries. You may have lost wages. These are all things that we can put our experience to work for to help you here at Parker Alexander.
Strong teams accomplish great things by working together. The Neville Tigers and Origin Bank know all about the value of teamwork and the positive impact it has within a community. These strong teams have joined forces to support the Salvation Army of Monroe, offering a helping hand to an outstanding organization that serves people in need throughout Northeast Louisiana. Origin Bank and Neville High School have strengthened our community for generations and are proud to continue to enrich the lives of others. Origin Bank, member FDIC.
It's tough being the king of the jungle. You need the best fitness gear to stay on top of your game week in and week out. That's why Shasta only knows one place to shop: Fleet Feet on Forsyth and Monroe. Shasta knows that the staff at Fleet Feet can outfit you from head to toe in the latest and greatest brands. Shoes by Hoka, On Cloud, New Balance, Brooks, and more. Socks by Belega and Features. Apparel from Lululemon, Fiore, Brooks, and Chicken Legs will keep you feeling great while you're staying in shape. So, be like Shasta, stay fit, look cool, and shop local. Stop by Fleet Feet today.
I'm Dr. Scott Shelby with Family Solutions. When you hear the words Family Solutions, you may not know that we're a comprehensive, strength-based counseling and psychiatric clinic. Family Solutions provides psychiatric care, individual and couples therapy, child and adolescent counseling, psychological testing, medication management. We also provide occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, and ABA therapy in one convenient location. For more information on how we can help your family today, visit FamilySolutionsCounseling.org.
Do you suffer from frequent back or neck pain? Were you in an accident and can't get rid of those constant aches? Maybe you're someone who deals with chronic migraines and tension headaches. It might be time to see how Martinez Chiropractic can help you. The goal of Martinez Chiropractic is to reduce or eliminate pain in just a few sessions using the latest in chiropractic technology. Don't suffer in pain another day. Call Martinez Chiropractic today at 318-654-4310 or see them in person, 1828 Tower Drive in Monroe.
In today's real estate market, you need an experienced team to navigate your buying and selling decisions. I'm Misty Hodge with Keller Williams Realty. Let my group use their combined 45 years. We know purchasing or selling a home can be a stressful experience, but not when you choose the Misty Hodge Group. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, give us a call. 318-348-5945 or go to mistyhodge.com. That's MISTIHAJJ.com. We support this community, and go Tigers.
All right, everybody, welcome back into Tiger Talk. Stewart Shelby. Now I'm joined by new Neville head basketball coach Derek Lopez. And Derek, welcome to Tiger Talk, man.
Appreciate it. Feel big time seeing myself right here on the TV and everything. I mean, this big time right here.
I'm telling you, we're going to get to know Derek here in just a second. But the second segment here on Tiger Talk is brought to you, as always, by our good friend Frank Nettles at Frank Nettles Automotive, proud supporter of Neville High School and Neville High School athletics. So if you got any car trouble or anything else, good advice, catch Frankenbeans on social media. But so there's a new one out. I think it's number 71. Can't believe that Frank's done that many. But, all right, let's get back. Coach Lopez, I guess a new coach, you know, it's been a while since we've had a new head basketball coach.
And hopefully it'll be a while.
And hopefully it'll be a while before we have another one.
Yeah.
Right? Well, let's start with that. I mean, most recently I believe you were at St. Frederick's, correct?
Yep.
But from there, how long were you there, and then kind of where did you start out? Kind of give us just your backstory of how you ended up here with us at Neville.
So originally from South Louisiana, Coach McCarty always still kind of jazzed me every now and then with my accent. But originally from Welsh is where I graduated. Coached at Jennings for 4 years. Before that, my first job was at Mamu. Everybody knows Mamu from Mardi Gras.
You chase chickens, right?
Yeah, all that fun stuff. And but was on the Jennings coaching staff when Neville came down in 2010. And Coach McCarty and Coach Tannehill and I have had many conversations about that game. It was a great high school game, I think, for a lot of people.
And ATN, was it?
ATN wasn't there yet.
Yeah, that's right.
But we had some explosiveness in the backfield, and it was like 40-something to 40-something. Y'all had a guy named Diars who
it wasn't bad.
I coached DB, so that was a long night for me.
Yeah.
But that's really where, like, I kind of saw Neville for the first time. Like, you know, you always hear about Neville, but always the traveling down there, and Jennings has a good-sized stadium, and Neville had packed it out and everything. And but then in 2013, Coach Casey Jones, who's now at Washman, was at Washita at the time. He and I talked about an opening that he had, and he offered me a job, and we jumped at it and moved up here. And I was at Washita for 2 years with him, and then I got the head job at West Washita, was there for 2 years, and then went back to Washita. My wife had gotten a promotion in her job, and we had a newborn, so we needed to get a little closer to home. So I was there for 3 more years, and then Andy Robinson at St. Frederick called me. They offered me a job. I took it, and then was there for 3 years. And through that time, was able to kind of meet some Neville folks, that, you know, and everything. And next thing you know, we talking about this job, and I get offered it and accepted it.
Well, we're glad you're here. It's been, you know, both talking with you and your wife, who is very involved in
very much.
In you know,
she lets me coach the team sometimes.
That's right. I'm sure she's from South Louisiana as well.
Yes, you could definitely tell with her accent. It hadn't gone anywhere, no doubt.
And you know, I caught up with her at a chamber event a week or so ago, and her enthusiasm, I mean, it really is infectious when it comes to this. And it's not, you know, Coach Craig, who'd been here for many, many years, I mean, gosh, he came, I think him and Coach McCarty came the same year, if I remember correctly. But it done a great job. It left you a program in good hands, but he decided to step away and kind of ease his way into retirement. His children have all graduated, and being left a vacancy. And I'm glad that you're here. I know you're probably glad to be at a place like Neville. And,
very much.
It's a place that's had some success on the hardwood over the past 50 or so years. It's kind of few and far between, but it's, I think, something that can really be cultivated, and you can definitely tell a new energies in the Hirsch.
I hope so. I'll definitely coach with that, and you know, Coach Craig did a great job. You know, I look at those banners every every day that's hanging across there, and top 28 appearances. And I think about the only thing is, got a state championship since '84 that we're trying to get that one. But that's kind of the goal.
Well, the Tigers have a first since I've been around here. I mean, and I've been around here for 47 years. But they have a big event coming up this Friday. It's going to be great. There's no football. What am I going to do on a Friday night? You really need to come out here and meet the Tigers here. It's called Tiger Madness.
There you go.
I think Will's got a graphic for you, and the doors open at 6. It's at the Hirsch there on Neville's campus. You're going to have both the boys and girls basketball teams. You're going to be able to kind of meet everybody. There's going to be an alumni game to cap it all off. So it's kind of like just a Meet the Tigers deal, and it helps out Coach Lopez and Coach Gimbalot to help fund some of the needs there on the basketball team. So it's a $5 admission. We need you to come out on Friday at 6 o'clock and tell me kind of like, have you done this in other places, or just something you had an idea?
Yeah, we've done it at a few other places, and we've had success doing it. Obviously, though, with us being Neville, we're able to kind of maybe do it on a bigger scale. But it's always a great time, opportunity to introduce the kids to the community, and for them to have a little fun and just everybody kind of meet one another. And then again, with us being Neville and much alumni backing that we have, to have an alumni game, Coach Burks is kind of helping head that up, and there's been a lot of interest in guys wanting to get up and down the floor again, and see if they still got it and everything like that. So we're looking forward to that part of it.
I'm offended that y'all haven't asked me to play in that alumni game, but
you got to talk to Coach Burks.
No, I'm glad. I would never meet the criteria for it. I guarantee it. But in my head, I was really good.
Me too.
The older I get, the
really
better
good.
I was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's how this works.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But it's going to be a great event. Really love the community, the Tiger community, come out and meet these young men and women, and meet the new coach, Coach Lopez.
Absolutely.
Coach Gimbalot. They've definitely been putting in the work. You're going to be able to see a lot of these games on the Neville Tiger Network as well over the winter. You put out your schedule. We shared it on our page, but a lot more early games than we've had in the past. Normally, it kind of really didn't go in until December when the tournaments kind of crank up. But it seems like you've scheduled a little bit pre-tournament play.
Yeah, we got quite a few guys that don't play football, and so that's always, as a basketball coach, and there's that overlap. You got to kind of juggle that, so to speak. And we just got a group of guys that are in the gym all the time, so we're going to play some games to kind of see where we're at and hold the fort down until probably sometime around mid-December is the expectation before we get some of the football guys, and then we'll try to mix them in there and get the chemistry going to come January, get in the district, and then hopefully we can make a push there at the end of it.
At the end.
Yep.
Well, tell us about some of these guys. I mean, really just you got anybody stands out to you, some seniors on your team,
we got
seniors.
We got 3 seniors that, whenever you take over a program, you kind of you want to make sure the seniors buy in, or it could get a little rough. And while we only have 3, it's 3 solid young men, and Andre Johnson, Keshar Jason, and Keldrick Butler.
Okay.
All 3 of them from day one have been very, very we use the word all in, just be all in to everything, and they've been all in to everything we've tried to do. We've implemented a weight training program that's very different than what they've done in the past. And again, it kind of starts with those guys really buying into what we're trying to do, and they've been great throughout the whole time, and so it really been started with their leadership, and then it's just kind of trickled down to the younger guys, and we've had some good competitive practices. We're anxious for tomorrow, going across the river to West Monroe, and see how we do against somebody else.
Scrimmage tomorrow against the Rebels.
Scrimmage tomorrow against the Rebels. JV will be at 5, and then the varsity is going to follow after that.
So if you want to get an early peek at the
early
Tigers,
peek.
a real early peek, they will be across the river at West Monroe. And And you see, there's the schedule.
Who
right
made
there.
that schedule?
Huh? It looks like
some crazy person. Whew.
Was that you or your?
I guess so.
Wife?
I guess I did.
Your wife made that, huh?
No, she lets me.
One?
Yeah, she lets me do the scheduling. Yeah, she does.
Oh, the
let me
schedule. I thought you were talking about the
do.
graphic.
No, she did do the graphic. No,
we were talking
that
about
definitely
that.
was not me. No, that definitely was not me.
Okay.
That's her.
But yeah, you got your Western Oak scrimmage. You got the Richwood Jamboree coming up on the 9th, and then you play Carroll.
Carroll open up
home.
with Carroll at home. Yep, and then we'll play in the Wassman Hall of Fame. Don't know who we'll play yet, but then going to the Rod Jenkins Memorial Shootout over at Richwood. And, you look at that. It's going to be a pretty competitive schedule for us, and we're excited about those opportunities.
You see that. You got Ouachita coming to our place.
Yes, sir.
Well, because we hadn't played Ouachita in basketball home and home in a long time.
Really? Well, yeah, they're going to come to us, and we're going to go to the Don Redden, that's a very important tournament to me, and it's a special tournament, for everybody in the Monroe area who knows who Don was. And, when it gets to that time, I try to share with our guys just the type of guy that Don was and everything, what that tournament means to a lot of people.
It is. It's a big tournament. It's one of the premier tournaments up here. Mm-hmm. You've got that one. So, I'm glad that y'all are back involved in that Don Redden shootout.
Excited about it.
All right. Well, Coach, and I guess if you want to give the people just anything they need to know about this year's team, like what they need to be looking for, now's the time to spit it out.
Well, hopefully we represent Neville the way that everybody wants it to be represented, and we're going to play hard. That's a non-negotiable with me, and we're going to play tough and be physical and, leave it all out there. Like I said, everybody's going to be all in, and we need everybody. What you called it, the Hirsch? I've been trying to figure out what we call the gym, so you call it the Hirsch?
I call it the Hirsch.
Okay, well, we may just go with the Hirsch.
What's the Herschel McConaughey Gymnasium? That's
look,
a mouthful.
I've been I've been trying to figure out.
While,
I've been trying to figure out.
The Hirsch is kind of stuck in my brain.
If it's the Hirsch or the Jungle or whatever, but we want people to be all into us, and we're going to be all into them, and we really want people packing it out, making it a home court advantage for us. And I tell people all the time, I only have one rule: if the roof isn't coming off, it ain't loud enough. So
you get the students involved, the fans need to come out. We got a great venue to watch basketball. It's just big enough to be tight and loud.
Yep.
And it's a long ways from the gym I played in at Neville. Where
I've heard stories about that gym.
Yeah, you can. You got about a 2 foot out of bounds. You had to watch out for yourself. But the old brick walls, those are always fun on the knees when you slam into them. But like I said, there's plenty of time to get going. Tickets will start going on sale here pregame. So we're going to post a lot of that stuff. We'll keep you advised of when the Tigers are out there. I know we've got a few things brewing. We're going to try and keep everybody abreast of y'all's progress, not only on the boys' side but also on the girls. And Coach Gimbalot and try to really support these basketball Tigers.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. I know that you've got plenty of duties over there at the gym, and anytime we can get you on here, we appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, Coach Derek Lopez, everybody, with Neville basketball. Don't forget, Tiger Madness Friday at 6. Show up, bring your $5. It's going to be a fun night. Okay, we've reached the time. We only got 3 segments tonight, so we're going to have one more segment, and it's probably the most anticipated segment of the year. When Will Anders, we actually give him a microphone and let him speak in public, live on air, and we're going to go over our projections for this next upcoming weeks, or this Sunday when the brackets come out for the Division I non-select playoffs. Stay tuned for that. We'll have that and more when we return right here on Tiger Talk.
Truck accidents are different from car accidents. With trucks, you've got federal regulations that may apply all over the land. You need an attorney who's experienced in handling these cases, who knows all those federal laws, and has years of experience fighting for our clients.
Strong teams accomplish great things by working together. The Neville Tigers and Origin Bank know all about the value of teamwork and the positive impact it has within a community. These strong teams have joined forces to support the Salvation Army of Monroe, offering a helping hand to an outstanding organization that serves people in need throughout Northeast Louisiana. Origin Bank and Neville High School have strengthened our community for generations and are proud to continue to enrich the lives of others. Origin Bank, member FDIC.
Winning is synonymous with Neville High School and Williams Orthodontics. Where the Neville Nation strives to finish strong on the field, court, or diamond, Dr. Kevin Williams and his staff share the same passion to deliver outstanding smiles to all patients in North Louisiana and South Arkansas. If you or anyone in your family are needing an orthodontic consultation, call the friendly staff at Williams Orthodontics to schedule an appointment so you too can be on the road to a winning smile. Williams Orthodontics says, "Go Tigers."
Sleepy Hollow Furniture and the Falk family proudly support our Neville Tigers. Just like the wide variety of athletics and academics Neville excels in, Sleepy Hollow offers your premium mattresses and adjustable bases, every kind of home furniture, and just in time for your favorite season, quality in-stock patio furniture ready for the big game. Come shop your Neville Tiger family at Sleepy Hollow Furniture.
At Marion State Bank, we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors, your friends, and part of your community. With branches in Marion, Farmerville, Sterlington, Drew, and soon to be West Monroe, we're excited to be growing alongside you. Whether it's opening that first savings account, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Don't forget about MSB Mortgage in Monroe.
I'm Robert Lane.
And I'm Ben Jones with Marion State Bank. And we live where you live.
Marion State Bank, member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Here at Parker Alexander, we obtain justice for those who've been injured due to the negligence of others. Whether that's in a car accident, a truck accident, wrongful death, we also make our community safer. We hold violators accountable.
When Neville Nation craves delicious fast food, there's only one place that comes to mind: Sonic Drive-In on North 18th. Whether it's a breakfast toaster on your way to work or school, one of the many lunch combos, a mid-afternoon Route 44 cold drink, a pregame popcorn chicken, or a postgame Sonic Blast, the Sonic on North 18th Street has you covered. So drive through or park and wait for a friendly car hop today to find out why our Sonic is the Sonic on North 18th Street in Monroe. It's definitely Tiger approved. With Neville Nation.
Hey, welcome back as we return for segment number 3 here on Tiger Talk.
I always love that commercial right before the last segment of the night.
Well, we want to highlight our good friends over there at the Sonic Drive-In on North 18th Street.
Yeah, Brian and his crew do a great job over there, man.
He definitely does. He has been a big partner with everybody. Not only at Neville, but Neville Junior High.
Oh, yeah.
He's at everything, and he really does partner with that. And he keeps you your belly full of tea as you,
yeah.
you ride by there and get a little tea.
Over there.
He does have some good tea.
Someone didn't bring me back tea today.
And you see the
Will has a mic, so
Will Landers has joined the show.
Hey, Stewart.
Huh?
Hey.
Well, welcome, Will. Will has been. I mean, ever since we left the perch there high atop the Family Solutions broadcast booth, high atop Patriot Field Friday, he's been crunching numbers all day and all night. Look, he hasn't even paid attention to one Rangers game since
I don't know
even
about
that one on Friday night.
But he was working diligently Monday, from 10 to about 1 on getting these.
It was before 10.
Well, I mean, we're giving you some grace.
Yeah, but he was. I couldn't get on my computer because he was doing so much work, so I had to slide over to Coach Collins' office and get some stuff done. But, no, he does a great job with this, and, we're going to let him kind of explain some of this to you. Hopefully the Neville Tigers will be the number 2 seed.
Here's how what we do. It's become, I guess, we've had a bye in Week 10 for a few years now, and so we always have that bye. So there's no opponent to talk about. We don't know who it's going to be, and really with these projections, we still really don't. This is who we think it may be. But there's a lot of games going on, some great games around the area. If you're a Neville fan and you don't get a chance to go watch a lot of other teams, you've got Stonington playing at Wassman, which is a huge game. The Wildcats, Coach Cahey's trying to get his group kind of back in there, and I think he's done a great job. That's for a district championship. West Monroe and Ruston are playing for a district championship. I believe that one is at West Monroe Friday. Mm-hmm. But Thursday, a game that a lot of Tiger fans are talking about is Zachary and Catholic. That's going to be Thursday night. If you can't drive to Baton Rouge for a Thursday night game, you can watch that on the LHSAA network.
Yep.
So, and that's free of charge. That's on there. You can follow them on YouTube. But
I want to say this, Tiger fans, everybody's trying to figure out who we're playing, all that stuff, and Will is going to be really close, along with other people that'll be really close too. But for you to hear these guys that we have a possibility of playing, you can listen to your radios on Friday night, even though we're not playing, and actually try to pick up scores and have an idea what they did this week, so that when we get a chance to play them in 2 weeks, then you'll know a little more about them than most people.
Be familiar with them. The general public doesn't have a Huddle account that can watch some film on a lot of these teams, but and a lot of these teams do have streaming channels just like we do.
Yep.
So you can go.
I wouldn't say it's just like ours, but it is.
Well, I mean, the same deal. Yeah. But they do have streaming channels where you can go back and watch some of this stuff. And I do. I kind of geek out on a lot of the stuff. Will and I will watch some of these games around.
Yeah, I bet you their clock works.
Yeah, well, and we do know that when our clock is not working, right?
No, I don't actually.
Right, Will? Yeah, that's right.
We'll get it.
We don't need everybody to text us and tell us that we know pretty much right on.
I'm looking at your brother out there.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. As the Tigers, we said, are projected to have a bye. Not only we have a bye this week, it's a scheduled bye. Next week's in week 1 of the Division I non-select playoffs. Unless something crazy, I don't think there's a chance that we don't get a top 4 seed. Right. Will, I mean, if we go to the Will cam, the Bear cam is what we call it. This is where we stick him, in the corner. That's where he belongs. And
that's where all the controls are.
That's where he stays. But let's get into this. Will, talk about your own television.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh yeah. Let's look here. You can see here on your screen, or if you're listening on Sunny 98.3, Ruston's going to be number 1. There's no doubt about it. Even with the loss.
Even with the loss to West Monroe, you're predicting that Ruston keeps that number 1 spot.
They can't drop. I mean,
West Monroe's 8-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they're getting a lot of points, and it'd be hard for them to drop out of that one spot.
And they got so many so far this year throughout the season with their schedule. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the toughest. State Neville comes in at number 2.
That's going to be on the opposite side of the bracket.
Yes. Yeah. I do have Zachary defeating Catholic, but I also have another bracket, but we won't go into that one because I believe this is the correct one.
Okay, this is the one you're going with.
Yes. Yeah. Zachary will end up being 3, and Airline will be number 4.
And those would be the 4 teams with byes here in this first round of the Division I non-select playoffs. Now, let's talk about the Zachary. Okay, because 1 and 4 are paired up. If you just go chalk all the way down the
to the semis.
1 and 4 would be paired up in the semis. 2 and 3 would be in the semis. And if you look at what you have, I mean, this prediction has West Monroe flipped over. Earlier on, we thought we might have West Monroe maybe possibly as a quarterfinal opponent if that were to all teams would win out. But you're putting Zachary there in that 3 spot. So what happens if Catholic beats Zachary?
So Zachary would actually drop to number 7.
You think they'll actually drop that far to 7?
I believe so, because Airline would stay. The reason Airline's dropping right now is because they're playing Southwood this week.
Yeah, and
Southwood,
they get
they
zero
get
wins.
10 points out of
for a win. Yeah.
So 10
and Airline right now is what number?
What we're tied with us, but strength factor they are higher, but that would drop now with
the
Southwood.
With Southwood, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would, which they would drop no matter what. Here's the scenario that me and Coach Tannehill were talking about. One of those crazy deals. West Monroe upsets Ruston.
Okay.
Zachary defeats Catholic. Zachary would slip into the 2 spot.
Yeah.
And then West Monroe would actually jump to 4.
So West Monroe would jump to 4, and we'd sit there in the 3.
Correct.
Stay in the 3 spot.
Again, as we did this last year, I didn't project West Washita to beat Ash last year.
Yeah, nobody. I don't think anybody did. I don't think anybody did.
So there's always going to be a surprise.
There's always going to be something. There's going to be a surprise.
Because you got 26 seed Washita. They play Pineville. The winner of that game goes to the playoffs. Pineville's in the select side. They're sitting at 23. 24 teams make it in select.
Yeah.
You look at Washita, they're sitting at 29. They would jump
to 26.
To 26.
And get the Lions into the playoffs.
And they'd be on our side playing Dutchtown.
And then West Washita would be
I got them against
Walker.
The Wildcats down there.
Down there. And you look down here, and a few surprises just on the projections here. You look down on the bracket just below ours, the one that would be paired with the Tigers if they were in the 2 seed. Now, like we say, these are projections only. Westgate dropping all the way down to 19.
Yeah.
They've had a few injuries. That's the team that put the Tigers out last year.
The quarterback's been hurt for weeks. And,
they say that he might have a chance to come back in the playoffs, or one of them.
And they don't play in the easiest districts.
They don't. They're playing St. Thomas More,
Turlings.
Lafayette Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And North Vermilion. And Northside. I think that's who they might have this week's Northside.
Yeah. They should win. They should win this week.
Should win that week.
So that'll put them. Is that 19 there?
That's 19. Yes, sir.
Projected them at 19.
So
They'd be on the road.
Bell Chase.
I misspelled Bell Chase. I apologize to all the.
Yes, you did.
I did.
2 S's.
Well, you know what? One mistake, not too bad.
I don't know if anybody from Bell Chase is watching. If they are, hey.
Hey, Cardinal fans.
Good job. Yeah. We appreciate the
you
Cardinal
found us.
fans.
Finish that side out. You got Chalmette and Mandeville, and then St. Amant, who's a really good football team, will play Benton out of Shreveport.
Walker's had a good year, sitting at 10 there up at the top. You flip over to the Ruston side. We're projecting them to be the number 1 seed no matter what. You got East St. John and Ponchatoula. East St. John's
those are two really good football teams
exactly.
right there.
That East St. John just has played some tough teams and had some close games, some tight losses.
They are a good football team, though.
Southside, which is out of the Lafayette area, and Northside, which is in the Lafayette.
Southside's kind of a newer school, for those of you that don't know that. They opened up another school here, 6-8 years ago, and Southside's the name of that. And they have really –
the Southside Sharks.
They have really come on strong here in the last 2 or 3 years for sure.
And then that's where we got West Monroe. I think this prediction has Ruston beating West Monroe on Friday night.
That is correct.
And that would have Barb coming up to face the Rebels right there. On the lower, you're just looking at Airline there at 4. And right now, like we said, I believe they're at 2. What are they, 2 right now?
They're 2 right now.
But we're all real close together.
But have them would be facing the winner of Parkway and Central of Baton Rouge. Central of Baton Rouge is another one of those teams that you just don't know. They've had some big wins. And had some interesting outcomes right there. That's the old coach from Catholic is at Central of Baton Rouge. And they would come up to face Parkway, and that sets up another Airline Parkway, like a crosstown rivalry game, maybe possibly in week 2. Salmon and Thibodaux. That would be a Salmon home game, and then you misspelled Destrehan too. If you're keeping count, it's Destrehan.
Okay, Brody Watley.
But Destrehan, who was last year's state champion and undefeated, still in the 5 spot.
I think they got the longest winning streak in the state.
Exactly.
Wow.
And facing them off with East Ascension, which, if you remember, that was our
we
first
played
round
them
opponent,
first round
or
last
second
year.
round, but the first playoff game we played last year.
As a 2 seed, you see Sam Houston and Terrebonne.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, we will host that second round game, even if there's an upset.
That's right.
Correct.
You're guaranteed a home game.
When you have a bye the first round, you're guaranteed a home game the second round. Yes. Thank you, Will, for pointing that out.
No problem, Coach.
And then also, if we were to make it to the semis, we would host the semis.
That's the key,
LHSA
the key to getting
rule.
that 2. If the Tigers come up with 2, no matter who gets to the semis, you're going to have a home game.
The 1 and the 2 seed, if they're still in it, or the higher seed.
The higher seed
will always be at home in the semis in non-select Division I football.
If you go through here, I mean, how many how many teams are you looking at right now? I mean, as far as trying to get film on or anything else?
Well, obviously, we're getting film. We try to get film on some, the higher seed teams, the ones we hadn't seen. Like we've seen West Monroe and Zachary just from swapping film with people. And then, we saw Destrehan last year, try to find some film on them, which they've been on TV some, so we got a little bit. And then, obviously, Ruston, we've got film on them. West Monroe, we got film on them just because, the teams we play and everything. But, you try to get those teams that it looks like we may play that second-round game against. There's 3 or 4 teams that we look at, and we'll have some coaches go and watch those games either Thursday or Friday night whenever they play and, scout them out a little bit. But, you really, until you know for sure who you're going to play, it's really hard to zone in. This Sunday, when they have the pairings, we'll have a lot better idea of who we think we might play.
Well, you've got two possibilities.
We'll start trying to get film and try to swap some film out with those guys early and just get a look at them and be well prepared for when we get ready to play those guys. But, right now it's not – it's great. Will does a great job. Coach Lemoyne that used to be here does a great job with all that. And Go Preps does a great job. But, all of them together, you still won't know until Sunday. But it's great discussion. People always want to know. And you try to figure out who's going to be in your side of the bracket and that kind of stuff. And it's good to talk about, especially with a week off. Our kids, I ask every day, who do you think we're going to play, Coach? I really don't know.
Don't
know. We're trying to get better for us.
Yeah. And you're 2 weeks removed from even having an idea because not only do you have a possibility of where you sit in the playoffs, but who that first-round opponent opponents are going to be, plus who's going to win out of those first-round opponents. There's a lot of guesswork.
There's a lot of games that are up in the air right now. And, Will, who did you have you thought it would be between who'd you say we were? I don't even remember now.
So that's Terrebonne and Sam Houston.
Terrebonne, see, we have no idea about either one of those guys because one of them's in Lake
Terrebonne
Charles
Parish.
and Terrebonne is way down there. So, we'd have to, figure out who they've played and try to, figure out some things about them. But I think some of that still relies on who they have to play, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Everyone's most likely got to play. I think we're the only one in Division I non-select with a bye.
With a bye in Week 10. Okay. That matters. Maybe.
Correct. Now, I did discuss this with Coach Tannehill sitting down at lunch today. Missed Coach Collins' lunch bunch. But no, if you look at that side, Sam Houston, Walker, Dutchtown, if that's how it's going to go, never played any of them.
Okay.
Ever.
Wow.
The only one we've played was Terrebonne one time in 1983.
So we beat South Terrebonne in the state championship game in 83.
In 83.
Terrebonne.
Or Terrebonne, whatever.
Yeah.
They were the
South
Tigers.
Terrebonne. That's baseball.
Yeah.
And we played Dutchtown in baseball.
Correct.
I was coaching baseball at that time. I don't know if we played Walker. I don't think we played
I don't
Walker
know if we've ever played Walker.
No, we've not. Now, we have played Ouachita and West Ouachita.
Yeah.
But
well, it's going to be an interesting playoffs coming up as Will's getting a little bit more face time. Put it back on me, Will, as we try to wrap things up. It is. We've somehow made it all the way
to 7:30.
To 7:30. Well, look, it was fun going through this. Thanks, Will, for putting together all these brackets.
It's fun, Stewart. It really is, and I enjoy every second of it. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be on here and talk to you two. It's just a tremendous honor, and thank you to the listeners.
All right, will you wrap up your sarcastic remarks so we can close this thing out? I appreciate it. Yeah, well,
y'all give it up for
Everybody
Will.
give Will a round of applause. All right. Well, it's 7:30. We're up against it. I know Justin
Stop
back
it.
at the Sunday 98.3 studios is probably ready to go home. But we appreciate everybody who's come out and watched it live and everybody watching at home or listening to us on Sunday 98.3. Thanks for being a good sport, Coach, coming in here. Thanks to Coach Derek Lopez for coming by.
Don't
and
want to
talking
forget
to us.
volleyball is at
Volleyball at 5 o'clock
Tarpons.
tomorrow. We'll have it on the network. So stay
live
tuned
from
for
Cutoff, Louisiana.
It's Galliano. But either way, he
Way
didn't
down there.
say Cutoff on it. It's Galliano.
Might get to see Coach O.
We appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll say good night here from Melvin's. This has been Tiger Talk.
Good night.